Welcome to Advanced Vedic Mathematics course. Phase 2 Purushottam Yoga. Lesson 67, Week 10. Today in this lesson we shall be proceeding in continuity of lesson 66 and now Shalokas 7 to 11. Text is to be have sequential rendering, starting with Shloka 1 and after Shloka 6. We are in phase 1, and in this phase 1 we have seen that there is a Ashwatha, a tree, TC value 21, parallel with synthetic setup of Sthapatya miring rod of hypercube 1 to hypercube 6, and it is this phase which had taken us to the transcendental cavity with creative frame within creator's space. Here, 5 space of a solid order as a transcendence. It is this format which brings us face to face with as that when there is a split as a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere, and one situated in a northern hemisphere, one glimpses southern hemisphere, then the appearance is of a tree with roots upwards and stem downward. However, this format of a tree with roots upwards and stem downward is not properly established. It is not firmly established. It is not having any comprehensive view. Therefore, for it, we have to see that in a Manushya Lok, the Manushya Lok is space 29 and 14. It is 43. It is a directional frame of a reach from eastern cosmic window reaching up till south. Therefore, this Brahmand, this universe, this setup of a 4 space, creator's space as it is not having establishment for this format of a tree. As it is not like that, therefore we have to take 3 steps. First step is that we should see how dimension to domain happening is there, and for it we shall take that man, measure the dimensions. This aspect is to be transcended. The second is that 6 space is having 7 space as its origin. So 7 space as origin, that is hypercube 7, that is 26, that is moho, the attachments. Now, man is TC 20, moho is TC 26. It is Thul Sharir, mundane body, and it is a Suksham Sharir, the subtle body. So, we have to transcend the mundane body. We also have to transcend the Suksham body. That means we have to transcend the dimensional frame as well as the origin. This is all what is happening here. That to reach it and to be parallel with it, we have to the end, and the next is a sang. It is TC 30. It is dimension of a Karan. So we have to also transcend the Karan Sharir. Three things. Mundane body is to be transcended, subtle body is to be transcended, and even the causal body is to be transcended. And then and only then we can see ahead, Atit, Karan Atit. And it is this Karan Atit which is 29. Therefore, we have to see that sequentially when we are when transcendentally we are the happening in the creator's space is that here the domain splits into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. To make it same, identical, synthesized, we take the format of a tree. But while we are in a northern hemisphere, the view of the tree within the southern hemisphere will be for the northern hemisphere as the roots up and the stem is going to be down. However, this format as it is not formally established within the creator's space, force space. So force space itself is a Manushya Lok. It is that H4 takes us to 2, 3, 4 and 5 four folds, and these four folds make value 14, and so far when the remanifestation is there, it becomes H14, and H14 has 29 versions. It is parallel with a Manushya, TC value of a Manushya. Now in this lok, that when within a creator's space there is a transcendental domain, and so this Manushya lok within force space as it is does not give us a firm establishment for this format. This is a Ashvatha. So Ashvath, which is TC value 21, is not having a proper establishment, is not having proper format, is not having beginning, end, and the middle format. That means when the transcendental content enters force space for its reach up till its transcendental origin, this eastern gate, cosmic window of value 21, as a flow from the sixth space along its seven streams and giving a flow of a transcendental content which enters this force space. This entry of Ashvath within it as it is, the same does not appear to be which has a beginning, which has an end, which has a middle. So this format Ashvath as a tree being not properly established, so we have to see that 5 space which is entering here is having a solid order, and therefore there are going to be 3 compactified layers for manifestation of the bodies. Number 1 is mundane body, sthul sharir. Second is the suksham sharir, subtle body. Third is the karan sharir. So there are 3 dimensions here, and these 3-dimensional forms are to be transcended. It is 20, here is 26, here is 15. So if we have to make it the 13 is its dimension, it is half of it. Now these features, as these are, take us to man, a mayor. Then we go to moho, infatuation, when attachment, and then ultimately we have to go to a chit, a consciousness. So we have to transcend for a tej. It is this attainment, or it is this feature which is to be taken account. So when we want to have a format for the tree, for a view from the northern hemisphere, which otherwise is not properly established here, and to have a proper comprehension of the same, we have to see that these 3 situations are to be transcended. This is, Shaloka 2. From here, we have to reach that if we want to have search or investigation or comprehension, or we want to have an enlightenment, then we have to be through this, and then and only then we can see that we can have a transcendence beyond the sun, whatever is the total domain of Surya, solar universe, with 7 space as its origin. This makes 7 plus 7, 14. It takes us to a raised to power 7 is to 14, b raised to power 6. So 14 as 4 space and 14 as 14 components, each of 6 space component, and we are reaching 7 space. So we have to investigate, we have to search, we have to comprehend, we are going to have enlightenment as to a space which is transcending our solar universe. So it is a reach where neither the sun nor the moon nor the fire will take us to. We are transcending beyond. This is the first phase of the Purushottam Yoga. The next phase of the Purushottam Yoga is in Shalokas 7 to 11. Today, our concentration is upon these shlokas, and here the concept is of a jeev, being. Being, jeev, is of TC value 16. This TC value 16 is D6, 6 space content, and this is a step ahead of the solid order. 4 space as a dimension takes us to a 6 space. So when we are taking to a creative dimensional space, then we know the creative dimension itself is having a transcendental origin. So we want to reach a space, 6 space, along a transcendental dimensional order. We want that 5 space shall be the dimension. Initially, 4 space is the dimension of a 6 space. It takes us to value 24. But when 5 space will be the dimension for the 6 space, that is when we will be having 6 transcendental dimensions, the value will be 30. And 30 is the value is the 8. That means we will be entering the 8 space. This reach for a jeep. Now being is within a body. That means this 5 space now is the dimension, that is the origin of the creator dimension itself. This makes that the 5 space domain splits and 6 space as its origin transcends out. It is this transcendence out of a 6 space domain as an origin of a 5 space. 6 space as an origin of a 5 space would mean that we are having full unit 5 space and half unit 5 space. This full unit 5 space H5 is 18 and half unit 5 is 19. Together is 37. It is a Shri Bhagavan. That means this jeev is going to have a supervision and a regulation. And it is here where in these shlokas 7 to 11 we will have as to how Shri Bhagavan is having a regulation, a control, a supervision, a expression of Sharir Yatra here, and it is in terms of a man and Indriya. Therefore, this 19, this southern hemisphere happening, this man, this going to be Indriya senses, it is going to be the Suksham Sharir. Now it is this subtle body where this phenomenon is happening. It is this phenomenon which makes the second phase, and it makes the subject matter of shlokas 7 to 11. These shlokas be read sequentially. There be given a sequential rendering for it. Then we will reach at the mathematical, and ultimately we will reach at Vedic mathematics, science and technology. For it, we have to first have a simple rendering for these shlokas. After simple rendering, we should reach at the translation. So from letters text, we shall reach at the numbers text, then Sthapatya, and from Sthapatya we reach at the space content, full unit body and half unit body. And once we will be through these phases for these texts, then we will reach at the phenomenon of a jeev. This is a phenomenon, a transcendental phenomenon within a body which is of sthul first, mundane, then suksham, and then karan. These are the 3 compactified states. Once we will be transcending these 3, then we will be reaching at Karanatit. It is the Karanatit state at which there is an existence of a jeev. And we have to see how jeev is having a complete control of a Sharir Yatra. All what is happening in our existence, it is to be properly appreciated. Sharir is 14 and Yatra is 23. It is equal to a Janam. So all powers which one acquires, all potentialities which one acquires in the form of a buddhi, in the form of a Indriya, Man Buddhi. So these potentialities and features are attained, and these are because of a Jeev, and Jeev is having because of Ishwar, and it is the phenomenon of Shri Bhagwan. These all things, these are simple terms, these are technical terms, these are the formulae, and these are having a complete format method itself. Method is there, knowledge is there, enlightenment is there, and this all is there in the form of, say, we are at, say, a formulation buddhi. It is a letters term. It will be translated into numbers, it will become 25. When it will be translated into Sthapatya, then it is taking us to a grade 4 cross 6 double digit numbers of 5 place value system, and transcendence therefrom is going to be this. That means 6 space, which is of a creative dimension and making dimensional frame 24. When we will transcend from here, then this intelligence is there. So mind creates intelligence field, and this intelligence field acquires the consciousness base. We have to be parallel with the second phase. It is this reach which is to be appreciated, that we have to go Shloka 1 to Shloka 6, which will take us as that within the creator's space, when the transcendental domain is having its split for the outer form. Outer we know is a stool. Then we reach